On today's episode, Chromebooks versus Windows laptops. Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the channel, RVCCIS.Info, where faculty representatives from Rock Valley College's Computers and Information Systems Department talks to you, our students, and the community at large about things roughly having to do with computers or information systems. Like we mentioned in the lead today, Stephanie and I will try to walk you through what will meet your needs as far as a Windows versus Chrome. In this case, we'll probably just talk about laptops, but laptops would be between now, for everybody who doesn't, remember either having us in the classroom or me specifically in the classroom, or hasn't followed the channel for too long. We love talking about deals, or at least I do. I'm going to claim me. So if you go to our Twitter or our Facebook, you will see hundreds of links for laptops or desktops or etc. So I'm always here for a good deal, and at this time of year, between now and the holidays, you really see a ton of good deals on laptops, especially now that we're transitioning from previous generation processors to current generation processors, like we talked about in our Intel versus AMD video last time around. So today we thought we would parrot a PC World article that we will put in the description below about what is best for you, a Chromebook or a Windows laptop. And we've got, I think, a different slant on this than the PC World article does, because instead of just being tech nerds, we also have to be instructors. So I think we have a good handle on what it is that our students need too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And then I teach at a high school, so I have a little bit different experience with it as well. So, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, my preference for me is a Windows laptop. Mm-hmm. Because of all the software I use. I have to have VMware, I have to have Word, Excel, Excel and Access are the big ones. Mm-hmm. And but I do have a Pixelbook that I love and I use every day. So I do have a Pixelbook and a Windows laptop that I use every day. So we're going to give you also it depends on what you need it for, answer, which everyone needs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the default education answer. It depends, right?
Yes.
So on the opposite side of that, I kind of really I still hate my Chromebook. As long as all you need is Chrome, I feel like it's okay. But now that we're all at home all the time, I feel like most of what I do is, either screen recordings or, video recordings like this for students. And Chrome is useless at doing that at the pace that I'm accustomed to. So maybe I'm just a processing snob, but the Chromebook I have, which again is a middle of the road Lenovo Chromebook, it's $350, nothing special, but it is incapable of showing like a slideshow or recording audio and video with the desktop. We drop frames. It drives me crazy. So if I had my pick, I would be on any one of these Macs you can't see here behind me, or behind the camera anyway. I just like Mac OS way better than Windows. I feel like you can do more out of the box with it. But because, and again, like Stephanie and I both teach CIS 102 for RVC, and that requires access. I'll teach over Winterim in access only course, which clearly will require access. And for that, you need a Windows PC. So the software is still in, even here in 2020, the Mac versus PC software is an issue. Most softwares are on both, but if you want a game, you're on a Windows PC. And there's a couple of pieces of software. VMware is far and away better on Windows, I feel, still than it is on a Mac. CAD is still probably better on Windows than it is on a Mac. So uh, I don't particularly feel like Chromebooks are the way to go.
Yeah, but if you have a, if you have a student that is in elementary school or in a school district, junior high, high school that has Chromebooks
Hmm.
or is a Google educational institution, then a Chromebook is the way to go. If they're a senior, do not buy them a Chromebook.
Yeah, if they're on their way transitioning from high school to college, absolutely, this is the worst time to get them a Chromebook because I know the prices are enticing, but the primary, the K through 12 school. So my little guy is in K4 and he was issued a Chromebook too. So we actually use the iPad instead, but um but Chromebook for him is absolutely positively the way to go because next year he'll have to start typing things and you can bang away on a cheap ass Chromebook and if the G key stops working, oh
Well,
well.
and pay on a Chromebook. I had a friend that I recommended a touchscreen for, and they just love the fact that it's got a touchscreen. It just makes it
Hmm.
so much nicer. And
Yeah.
they are, they are throwaway computers. They have like a really wimpy processor, and
Yeah. Yeah,
I my
really wimpy
Pixelbook,
RAM.
yeah, right. My Pixelbook that I got, I love, but it's like an i7. It's a Chromebook with a really great processor, and it runs really well. But the school district here, some of the tech coaches here at the school I work at, they were wondering if they could get one. And the director of technology goes, I'm not going to give you a Cadillac when your students are using
Right.
like
Yeah,
Yugos,
Pintos. Yeah.
So anyway, so it's like, it is very, I'm spoiled. I'm very spoiled with it and I love it,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't pay the $1,500 it costs for it or the
Right, right.
$1,000 for it.
So in the article here, there's actually a couple of really good Chromebook suggestions, and I tend to stick with those. If you can get your hands on one of them, so if you can, risk going to a Best Buy or actually, if you have a Costco or a Sam's Club membership or know somebody who does, you get the extended warranty on those. They give you 2 and 3 years instead of just 1 year. Those are great bargains because, especially on a laptop, if something goes wrong, you're screwed, right? So the power supply goes out, it's useless. Something happens with the Wi-Fi, you're in trouble. For a lot of home users anyway, you'd be completely out of luck. And being able to walk into a Sam's Club 2 years later and go, this is busted, and have them go pick one off of the shelf is a really great benefit there. Um, as far as something we,
Costco
yep.
did have some really great deals on Chromebooks recently. And
Hmm.
they are, you're right, you have to double check them. But the other thing is, Eric, you always find great deals at Best Buy and they price match.
Right. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, on my iPad, right there, you can see it right there. I was shopping for a desktop just now because Stephanie and I were talking about buying desktops yesterday. I'm like, well, I'm a sucker. I'm gonna
Eh,
look into buying a desktop today.
That's,
And Best Buy had a bunch of open box ones that were really great. So that was definitely worth looking at too.
I know we're on this desktop kick.
I
I
know.
can't get off of it now. I'm gonna have a new one. I'm pretty positive here soon.
That's what I'm afraid of too, because like, here we are, we're trying to tell everybody about go ahead and buy a laptop. It's a good time to buy a laptop. I'm like, because I'm over here buying a desktop instead. We are the
Well,
worst
that's
of the
what I'm hoping.
hypocrites.
Everybody's buying laptops, and then I can go buy all these parts to put them desktop
There you go.
together.
We're counter cyclical, or we're just entrapping you into getting the wrong thing here.
But the computer I use every day, I have three computers I use every day because we're freaks and we teach CIS, and
Yeah,
mine is
we have a vested interest.
we have a
That's what I
vested
like to say.
is my Pixelbook. I use that every day. And then I use this one that I'm using right now, which is my Surface Book
Mhm.
Pro. And I love that. It's, of course, now that I say it, it's probably going to die on me. And then the other one I use every day is my desktop that I created 5 years ago. So, for us, it's just, that's the way it works. And
Mhm.
the laptop I use for my college courses and the Pixelbook I use for my high school courses. So, I mean,
Yep.
you know, that's just kind of how it goes. And that's how I feel like students will end up doing that as well, especially if you're in engineering and CIS. You will not use a Chromebook.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the first things I do for like CIS 102 courses is say, please, please, please consider from here on out, if you are buying for you for school, do not get a Chromebook because there's nothing but heartache and tears waiting for you in, either 6 weeks or 6 months when all of a sudden you come across a software that you needed for a class that you do not have because of Chrome.
Yep. Yep. So you're lagging out again.
Yeah, this is whatever the techno poltergeist is that's taken my house over is pissing me off.
Okay. I was
Um,
trying to pause before I said that, but
yeah.
okay.
So the one last thing we should say on the Windows side is please, please, please consider not buying anything with 4 gig of RAM because that is going to be way too slow.
Yeah. 8 gig. Do
Yeah.
yourself a favor. Do 8 gig.
8 gig is the minimum for laptops, especially all of the ones on this list, which again, you can find below in the comments. For the most part, you will find that you cannot later on go add more RAM. So the system you buy it, let's say today, is as fast as it's ever going to be, essentially. So make sure that it fits your needs. So if cost is the only vector that you have there, that's okay. You can probably find a Windows machine with 4 gig of RAM. If you have to squeeze that to work, it'll work. But try to stick with 8 gig because that experience is going to be much better. On a Chromebook, 4 gig is probably fine because you're just going to have tabs in Chrome open anyway. It won't be that big a deal.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree totally.
So there you go, our buying advice for Chromebook versus Windows laptop. If you are in a K-12 environment or if you are buying for somebody who is, Chromebook's the way to go. If you are in college or transitioning to college, we cannot in good faith tell you to buy a Chromebook because you're going to buy another one sooner rather than later to make up for the deficiencies there. If you have a preference one way or the other for Chromebook versus Windows laptop, you can go ahead and leave us a comment below. While you're down there, feel free to hit subscribe so that we can continue to provide you with whatever content this is that we can provide you with. While you're down there, also hit like and the little bell to be notified of future episodes as they come to you. We are actually on a roll here, sticking to our Tuesday, Thursday schedule. So that's when you should see things roll out. Let's see. Also, while we're talking about following us, please feel free to follow us on social media. We are RVCCIS.Info on Twitter, on Facebook, on Anchor.fm, here on YouTube, which is enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can follow us all of those places. We do far more tweeting and posts to Facebook than we do videos like this because they can be one-shot pieces from elsewhere. So I would suggest there's a lot of good content there, especially coming through here in the pre-holiday season where all the good monetary deals are coming to us.
Yeah, there are some great deals coming through.
There really are. So on behalf of Stephanie Washer and me, Eric Wolf, the two instructors not shown here, Jim Conley and Chuck Conkle, and on behalf of the whole Rock Valley College community, stay safe and stay sane out there, everybody.